Alright, so we're going to do the second section, adding and subtracting rational expressions. I'm going to do 8, 10, and 12. This is the part that's most tricky, that most kids kind of get confused on. Here you have to have a common denominator when you're adding or subtracting fractions. So one of the hardest part, guys, is just figuring out which is your common denominator. So let's start with number 8. I kind of want to do some of the harder ones. So for number 8, I have 2 over x squared minus 3x plus 2 plus 3 over x squared minus 1. Now right now, it's kind of hard to see what our common denominator is. You could multiply these out, but that's going to give us a really, really big number. So what I would recommend doing is factor the denominators out so we can see better what we're working with. So right here, this is a dots, difference of two squares. This is going to be x plus 1, x minus 1. And then here, my factors of 2, this is a guess and check. What are my factors of 2? So I have 2 times 1 and negative 2 times negative 1. When I add those, I get 3. This one I get, when I add that, you get negative 3. So this is my guy right here. So this will be x minus 2, x minus 1. Okay, so now for common denominator, tell me all the terms that y'all see. So we see what?
X minus 2.
We have an x minus 2, we also see an x minus 1, and also a
X plus 1.
x plus 1. So that's your common denominator. So I'm going to write that
How'd you?
twice. So I'm just looking at what are all the different types of factor terms, factor bubbles that I see. There's an x minus 2, so I got to put that on both. There's an x minus 1, and there's also an x plus 1. Those are all the different types that are in the denominator. Alright, so here, right, what am I missing? How did I get from this step to this step? What am I missing? I'm missing an x plus 1. So if I multiply this guy by x plus 1, what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So you get 2x plus 2. And now I'm going to look on the right side right here. What is this guy missing? So I have an x plus 1, x minus 1. What is he missing? He's missing a x minus 2. What I do to the bottom, you do to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So you end up getting 3x minus 6. Now that I have everything over one denominator, remember we're not solving, so we're not dropping the denominator, we're just adding, we're simplifying. So I'm going to write this over one denominator, and I'm going to combine like terms in the numerator. I'm going to smush it. So 3x plus 2x equals 5x, and then 2 minus 6 gives me negative 4. And so here, since we have a trinomial, right, we don't need to multiply it out. But that is your final answer. Here, since it actually says state where it's undefined, I'm going to look just at the denominator. So tell me what would make this factor bubble 0, 2, what would make this guy 0, 1, and then this one would be negative 1. So that's where it's undefined.